Oye Pancho, una pregunta. Mira, Y muy buenos días a todos en casa. Ya estamos ya con el quinto día de competencia aquí en el Maui and Sons Pro 2015. Me encuentro aquí con Steve Jackson y le daría un buenos días a todos en la audiencia en inglés. Steve, good morning.
Good morning and welcome to day 5 here at the 2015 Maui and Sons Arica Pro. We're just about set to get underway with Heat 5 in Round 3, so we still have the last 4 heats of Round 3 to run through, and then we'll be going into Round 4.
Before we go into the Round 4, we're going to show the highlights of yesterday, day 4 of the Rip Curl Maui and Sons 2015.
Atención en el agua. ¿Me escuchan bien? Ok. Estamos esperando que los amigos salgan en la zona de competencia para marcar la primera serie.
Y ya en pocos instantes ya estábamos dando inicio a este quinto día de competencia con condiciones ya de alrededor 2 metros. Estamos aquí en la ex Isla Alacrán, en la ola del Gringo. And Steve, in a few minutes we're going to start with another day of action of the day 5 of the Maui Sons Pro 2015. We are on the round number 3 and hit number 5.
That's coming up on deck. We're going to see Miguel Tudela from Peru in the red jersey. He'll be joined by Palomara from Brazil in white, Lucas Silveira also from Brazil in yellow, and Luca Messinas from Peru in the black jersey assignment. So again, those 4 riders making their way out into the lineup, getting ready to start day 5 as we work through the back half of round 3 and then look to get into round 4 action out in the water. So another full day of action here at El Gringo on ex Isla Alacrán in Arica, Chile.
And when the conditions improving in the ex Isla Alacrán, we can see today 6 sets of around 7 foot that are going to be very good for this 5th day. We were having an incredible 4 days with big results. The Chileans and the Peruvians were showing how they have the acknowledgement on this wave. And any minute we're going to start with the hit number 5.
Yeah, so true to forecast on a surf line, we have seen an increase in surf. We're looking at 6 foot with bigger sets coming through here at El Gringo today. As a new swell fills in and continues to build, it should get bigger throughout the day. That's going to provide some very open barrels and some very good conditions for our riders today as we motor on through the rest of the competition and work our way through the field.
Y es así como comentaba Steve Jackson, las condiciones han mejorado acá en la isla Alacrán. Ya se empezó a ver ese swell que está viniendo del sur aquí, entrar en los riffs del Gringo. Tenemos condiciones de alrededor 7 pies en la isla y estábamos esperando ya que en cualquier minuto el staff de ASP nos diera el on para así continuar con un nuevo día de acción. We're just waiting for a few minutes. Any minutes we're going to receive the information that we are on with this day of action. We are in this heat with Miguel Tudela, one of the Peruvian chargers that is on the top lead of the World QS, and Paulo Mora as well, someone that has no introduction on this way. Paulo Mora has been in finals already here. He was here for first time on the Ripcool Pro Search on the 2007. As well, Lucas Silveira is one of the boys, new generations from Brazil, that is being charging super strong here, having like incredible performance on the free surfing, and is someone that for sure is going to run the show today. As well, we have the Peruvian Lucas Messinas that has been on the last editions of El Gringo competition. He's been showing that he is also someone that can challenge and give good scores on these waves.
30 segundos, 30 seconds.
All right, so counting down 30 seconds to the start of the first heat of the day as we get set to kick off day 5 here at El Gringo at the 2015 Maui Sons Arica Pro.
Así como decía Steve Jackson, ya estamos cerca de 10 segundos de la regresiva y en cualquier instante ya vamos a entrar con Miguel Tudela, el peruano. Atento toda la gente de Punta Hermosa, que ya Miguel entra. Também assim, gente, lá em Brasil, bom dia a todo mundo lá. Paulo Moura vai entrar agora, daqui a pouquinho, 5 segundos, já vai começar a bateria também do Lucas Silveira. E el chico de Perú también, Lucas Messinas, gente. Y nos vamos con la regresiva. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Y ya estamos dando inicio. Aquí, Steve Jackson, we're starting the heat with surfers on the water.
And right off the bat, up and riding in yellow, looks like Lucas Silveira will get things going. There you can see on screen the breakdown of the color assignments. Miguel Tudela in red, Palomara in white, Luca Messinas in black, and Lucas Silveira up and riding on that first wave. He is in the yellow jersey assignment.
Steve Jackson, tenemos a Miguel Tudela de rojo, al chico de Lima, también tenemos a Paulo Mora en peto blanco de Brasil, Lucas Silveira, el chico de Florianópolis de amarillo, y Lucas Messina, el peruano, de peto negro. Teníamos una increíble jornada, los hits se están reduciendo a un tiempo de 25 minutos y las condiciones se están bombeando ya aquí en la ex Isla Alacrán.
As Yo-Yo was mentioning in Spanish, today we're going with 25-minute heats. And we have rider up.
Cuando teníamos ahí open riding, espeto amarillo es Lucas Silveira, el brasileño, que conseguía entrar ahí ya en la tubería de la sección del quirófano. And we have open riding. This is white jersey. This is Paulo Mora. Paulo Mora is one of the surfers with more knowledge in this kind of conditions. To remind everybody at home, Paulo Mora is an ex-city product. And when we have the answer of the Peruvian Tudela, Peruvian is one of the new generations of the talents from Peru.
Tudela coming to us from Punta Hermosa in Peru.
And we will have open riding. This is black jersey. It's Lucas Messina. This is another of the new talents of Peru that is here on the round 3 of this Maui and Sons Pro.
And I'll keep an eye on Luca Messina. He was the winner of the 2014 Chicama Classic Pro Junior back last September. He's also coming off a win earlier this year at Pro Junior event number 6, the Ranjan Vans Junior Pro in Cocoa Beach, Florida. So this guy knows how to get the job done out in the water.
Es así, como decía Steve Jackson, a todo, ya están los competidores en agua, se han hecho ya los primeros drops y estábamos esperando por los puntajes de Tudela, Paulo Mora, Lucas Silveira y Lucas Messina. Así que en cualquier instante ya íbamos a ver cómo se sitúa este primer hit de esta mañana, el hit número 5. And we were waiting for scores, Steve.
First score coming in for Lucas Silveira. He got things started off with a quick up and down ride, a .50 for his efforts on that wave. A minimal score, but something to start with. Just waiting for his second wave to score. We also have waves being scored for Luca Messinas and Miguel Tudela. We'll give you that in a sec.
Well, we have Tudela on drop. He is holding the brake over there on the section, trying to look for the barrel. He was not delivering a good section this way. And we're waiting for a score. Lucas Silveira with a 0.50 is with his first score. And is on the next hit is getting ready to go on the water. Jerónimo Vargas from Brazil, the Hawaiian Iale Stewart, Max Longhurst from Australia, and Travis Beckman from Hawaii. So everybody at home, we are with the action just starting this morning, and the ex-Isla Alacran waiting for scores of Paulo Mora, Lucas Messina, and Miguel Tudela.
And in the meantime, while we wait for the next waves to be ridden, a quick opportunity to thank our sponsors for this event. Thank you to Maui and Sons, Municipalidad de Arica, Corona Extra, Dragon Optics, and Globe Footwear, also our media partners, Surfline, Chili Surf, Via de Escape, Latin Wave, Surf Photos, Arica Surf Blog, and Radio ADN.
Y como lo mencionaba mi amigo Steve Jackson, queríamos agradecer a nuestros patrocinadores en esta mañana, a Maui and Sons, Municipalidad de Arica, Cerveza Corona, Dragon, Globe, a nuestros media partners, Surfline, Chile Surf, Vía de Escape, Latin Wave, Surf Photos, Arica Surf Blog y Radio ADN. Así que a ellos un increíble agradecimiento por el apoyo. Teníamos ya al peruano Lucas Messina ya encajando ahí un tubo de backside, un pequeño techito. Las condiciones ya están mejorando, como puede ver todo el mundo. Ayer teníamos condiciones mínimas y hoy ya tenemos alrededor de 7 pies aquí en la ex Isla Alacran. And Steve, we are waiting for a score. We're having the first numbers on the screen.
Yes, dropping into place, Lucas Silveira, as we mentioned, a .50 to start off. He backed that up with a 2.50. He will look to build his scores from there. Meanwhile, 1.9, 1.6 coming in for Lucas Messina.
Oh, and it was an incredible drop from white jersey. Wow. Paulo Mora, he was having an insane drop on El Quiropráctico, going all the way to the quirófano with all the speed. He was not able to come out to the barrel, but it was an incredible drop from Paulo Mora from Brazil.
So right now, waiting for the first 2 scores of Paulo Mora to drop into place. We're going to see a lot of this today, and I'm pretty sure you can back me up on this, Yo-Yo. We're going to see some really big barrel rides out here today, but we're also going to see some pretty big, nasty wipeouts as well. Don't be surprised if we see a few more broken boards out there, or maybe a couple of snapped fins along the way.
Yeah, it's on this way. If you don't go home, man, because the conditions are pumping this morning. We have 7 foot solids, and during the morning, during the time comes up, the conditions are gonna get better. So we are receiving the last score of Paulo Mora. Is gonna be a good score. I mentioned before that it was an amazing drop that Paulo Mora has on this wave. So he's on the lead right now with 6 points on his last wave. Paulo Mora from Brazil is leading the hit.
And there his follow-up score falling into place at 2.90. So he starts off with a 6 and a 2.90. That's enough to give Paulo Mora the early lead. 18:50 on the clock here in this first heat of the morning. 25-minute heat. Top 2 waves will be scored. Top 2 riders will advance on to round 4 competition.
Ya, muchachos, y ya estábamos ya con los primeros puntajes de esta mañana cuando el brasileño Paulo Mora ya está en la lideranza con su primera nota de 6 puntos y un 2.90 como back score. Está ya en la lideranza. Teníamos en segunda posición a Lucas Messina, que está necesitando 7 puntos para pasar a primero. En tercera posición Miguel Tudela necesita 1.66 para llegar a segundo. Y Lucas Silveira nada más que un puntito para tomar el segundo lugar. Cuando ya teníamos, muchachos, aquí, situación de ola, él es el brasileño Lucas Silveira, que con un estilazo está cajando tubos aquí en la izquierda, en la sección de el quiropráctico, muchachos. Ya pueden ver, we have open riding. This is Miguel Tudela, el peruano, uno de los grandes talentos de la Armada peruana, aquí poniendo nuevamente un bottom turn. Ya vamos entrando con el off the top. Ese es Miguel Tudela de peto rojo.
So there you saw a quick wave exchange out there, and we just have some really meaty sets rolling through here first thing this morning. So the swell has delivered right off the bat.
Ya teníamos Ola ahí en situación porque él tiene un control increíble. Él es Paulo Mora de Brasil, muchachos, y está consiguiendo liderar este hit. And everybody that is watching, we've been having the few first broken boards this morning. How many you already see this morning? How many boards did you count this morning that the surfers were breaking at El Gringo?
So far at this event, I've seen at least 3 busted boards and several broken fins.
To let you know, Steve, this morning we already have on the free surfing 4 broken boards.
I did not know that.
Yeah, for just 4 broken boards. In the first half an hour of this morning, it was 4 broken boards on the El Gringo, and that's the result. If you try to challenge, no, El Gringo is one of the heaviest waves on the world. I would like to remind to everybody back home that in the history of ASP, broken boards, accidents, high scores, combination of a score, tubes, and well, there's a lot of records that we've been building on this event on the last 10 years, no, Steve Jackson?
Yeah, you've been mentioning that throughout the course of the competition, and it's interesting to see El Gringo living up to its reputation with the waves it's been delivering for this event and the carnage it's been creating out in the water for our competitors.
Yeah, my local knowledgeman says that this morning, my friend, we're gonna have incredible conditions. The tide is gonna go up all this morning, and we're gonna have El Gringo pumping with around 6, 7, and 8 foot to have an incredible show of barrels. The situation is that we have 15 minutes remaining on this hit number 5, and Paulo Mora is on the lead. His last score was 4.75. So Lucas Messina from Peru is on second position and needs a 8.85 to take the lead. Miguel Tudela on third. He needs a 1.66 to go on second, and Lucas Silveira needs 1 point to go on second place.
So there, Yo-Yo giving you the rundown in English. Maybe he could be so kind as to give us the rundown in Spanish now as well.
Es así, muchachos, porque ya estamos aquí con toda la acción, faltando ya 15 minutos en la regresiva. Tenemos en la lideranza al brasileño Paulo Mora, que está con una combinación de 10 y 75. En segunda posición tenemos al peruano Lucas Messinas, que necesita un 8.85 para pasar a primero. Cuando estábamos ya con la situación, teníamos ya un tubazo ahí entrando, el erapeto negro, Lucas Messina, el peruano. Y les comentaba, muchachos, que Miguel Tudela está en tercera posición, necesitando un 1.66. Lucas Silveira, cuarto lugar, from Brasil. Estaba cambiando la situación, where we have open riding, Steve.
Lucas Silveira up and riding, grabs the rail, driving through. Started to come out and then just got axed in the back of the head with the lip. Oh. Nice barrel ride from Lucas Silveira. Unfortunately, not a pretty ending.
Cuando los chicos de Factor 15 me informan ya que vamos al primer replay de esta mañana, muchachos, and we go for the first replay of this morning.
All right, so Looking at the replay, here we can see Miguel Tudela, and he will kick out on that one. Meanwhile, we had live action out in the water. We'll see if we can cue up a replay of that last wave as we had a rider up just as we went into the replay.
Ya muchachos, estamos ahí con el último replay de Miguel Tudela y aquí con mi compañero Steve Jackson Action le estamos llevando toda la acción a sus hogares para que puedan tener la información de punta sobre lo que está aconteciendo aquí en la ex Isla Alacrán. Who is getting ready on the next hit, Steve?
Coming up next, we'll see hitting the water in about 14 minutes or so. Geronimo Vargas from Brazil, Ayala Stewart from Hawaii. They will be joined by Max Longhurst from Australia and another Hawaiian, Travis Beckman.
Y cuando teníamos drop ahí, this is Paulo Moura from Brazil with incredible drops this morning. Paulo Moura showing all his experience here at El Gringo.
All right, so we're just waiting for that last round of scores to drop in. We've seen guys get down to work and keeping busy right off the start this morning. And meanwhile, just taking a quick look at the surf line forecast for today. We're looking at surf in the 5 to 6 foot range, building into the 8 foot range as we get deeper into the day. And then tomorrow, it's looking pretty sizable. The forecast calling for waves in the 10 to 12 foot range early, building into the, as Surfline is calling, 14 to 16 foot by early afternoon tomorrow.
And tomorrow is very possible that we will have a big final with huge, massive waves. We were having the controversy if we're gonna run the competition here at El Gringo, and it was also the possibility to run the competition at the wave that is called El Buey, that is next to El Gringo. So it's one of the biggest waves of Chile. And one of the situations, it was like we were wondering if all the competitors were having the right equipment to run on this condition, the event, the finals and semifinals. So it's gonna be very possible that tomorrow, up to the conditions, probably we set up the whole competition at El Buey. Cuando teníamos, hola muchachos, ahí él es Miguel Tudela, el peruano, con un muy buen control, se le secó todo el tubo y él es Tudela de El Perú. A good answer from Tudela. Y cuando teníamos ya también Peto Negro, él es Lucas Mesinas, que busca su paso a la siguiente ronda. Steve, what a situation this.
All right, counting down to the 11-minute mark, and there you can see a quick wave exchange between Tudela and Mesinas. We'll wait for those scores to drop in, but right now, as is, 7.50 and 3.60 on the board for Tudela has him in the lead. That last wave may very well increase his overall score. And here we have Lucas Silveira.
Cuando tenemos ya a Lucas Silveira, al brasileño, uno de los muy buenos exponentes aquí en El Gringo. Lucas Silveira es uno de los chicos del Brazilian Storm que está dando mucho que hablar aquí en el Tour Mundial. Tiene una increíble performance con olas grandes y vamos a ver si entra en sintonía, porque con 10 minutos Lucas Silveira necesita un 7.21 para pasar a segundo, y Lucas Messina, el peruano de Peto Negro, un 8.70 para entrar nuevamente en acción y al siguiente round.
So again, right now, situation change out in the water. Paulo Moura moving into the top spot. His overall combined heat score of 11.15 has him in the lead. He averaged 12.65 in his round 2 heat 10 battle. He was able to win that heat. Right now, he holds the lead, looking to win this one as well.
And what we have is a new change of situation. Paulo Moura goes against to the lead with his last score, 5.15. He's on the lead. Miguel Tudela on second position. He got a combination of 11.15. Last wave of Miguel Tudela change again the situation. The last wave of Miguel Tudela is 8.90 and he goes against to the lead. Paulo Moura on second position needs a combination of 16.41 to take the lead. Lucas Silveira needs a 7.25 to go on second, and Lucas Messina 8.75 to go on second place.
All right, so there you have the update in English, maybe one more time in Spanish.
Ya muchachos, y cuando me informan que nos vamos al replay de la acción, pero antes sí teníamos situación. This is why Jersey Vamos a ver con Paulo Mora aquí encajando un bonito tubo muy largo. Ese es el ex WST, uno de los grandes exponentes de este Maui Sons Pro 2015, Paulo Mora. Y estamos ya con el replay, Steve.
Here we have a look at the Arica replay. Miguel Tudela on this one, driving through the barrel. Some spit there, comes out clean, 8.90 for his effort. And here's a look at Lucas Silveira on his last wave.
Es así, muchachos, cuando ya teníamos la última ola de Lucas Silveira, que no consigue salir de la sección de el quirófano. Él es el peruano. Cuando teníamos también la repetición de Miguel Tudela, un increíble tubo. Y en cualquier instante ya estábamos con la acción y con la última nota de Paulo Mora. Cuando se prepara, is getting ready on the next hit, Jerónimo Vargas from Brazil, y Al Stewart from Hawaii, Max Longours from Australia, y Travis Beckman from Hawaii. Muchachos, and we go here again with another replay of the action here at El Gringo. This is the last score. This is another shot from last wave of Miguel Tudela and Lucas Messina on screen with black jersey. This is the Peruvian army that is representing here at El Gringo. And Max Longours is going on the next hit. I was saying that yellow jersey. Big greetings to the family of him, Papa and Mama of Max. Here we are with your boy, having a really good time, taking care of the Aussie boys. And to the old competitors, Steve Jackson, we are waiting for a score. And it's dropped the last score of Paulo Mora. I think it's going to be a good score for him.
Just waiting for finalization from the judges upstairs, but this will definitely change the complexion of the heat. Right now, Mora in second, Tudela in first. We could very well see a situation change as we count down to the 7-minute mark. Again, right now, Miguel Tudela sitting on a 7.50 and an 8.90. Currently holds the lead, but there it is, a 9.15 for Paulo Mora to go with his 6.0. So again, situation stays the same. Miguel Tudela in the lead for now. Paulo Mora gaining some ground with that 9.15, and we have ourselves a bit of a battle. Meanwhile, Luca Messinas in third needs a 9.90, and Lucas Silveira has crossed over into the dreaded combination situation. He needs a new combined heat total, two completely new high scores to get back into the mix of things and advance out of this heat.
E atenção todo mundo lá em Brasil, já Paulo Mora ativo a última nota, 9.15. Ele está já em segundo lugar, está precisando um 7.25 para tomar a liderança. Também assim Lucas Messina, o peruano, precisa um 9.90. Y Lucas Silveira 15 y 16 en combinación. And when we go to the replay of the action here, this is the last wave of yellow jersey. Lucas Silveira is holding the barrel, trying to go to the next session, and it's not going to be enough. And this is the action. This is 9.15 of Paulo Mora, an incredible control and drive of the barrel. This is Paulo Mora from Brazil.
So again, that last wave of Paulo Mora worthy of a 9.15. So here we are, 5.5 minutes remaining in the first heat of the morning. El Gringo is delivering the goods wave-wise, and the riders out in the water delivering the goods by way of some big scores out in the water. Again, right now, Miguel Tudela with a 7.5 and an 8.9 leads the way. Paulo Mora currently second with a 6.0 opening wave. His last wave, a 9.15.
And El Gringo is pumping and delivering good waves when we have open riding. This is white jersey. This is the Brazilian Paulo Mora that is looking for a score of 7.25. It's very possible on this drop because Paulo Mora is running. Paulo Mora is giving an incredible show here this morning at El Gringo. We are 5 minutes remaining. We are getting to the hits number 6. Situation is incredible here, Steve Jackson, no?
Right now, it seems like Paulo Mora has really dialed into those barreling left-handers and taking full advantage. He's got a 9.15 on his last wave. We'll see what this most recent wave comes in score-wise. And we'll see if it's enough to replace his 6.0 as a backup score. But Paulo Mora and Miguel Tudela have been the class of the field out there. Meanwhile, Luca Messinas, until trying to dial in, he needs to chase down a 9.90 to get back into advancement position. Lucas Silveira in combination situation.
And when we go again to the action and replay from white, this Paulo Mora from Brazil giving a huge drop, getting to the first section, holding the board over there and trying to go out with an incredible style. This is Paulo Moura from Brazil.
So again, just waiting for that last score to drop. Meanwhile, waves continue to roll through here at El Gringo. Solid 6 foot plus surf, as these guys are definitely enjoying the fact that they came up here. Day broke and El Gringo revealed some nice solid barrels for these guys to work with today. And there it is, a 6.75 for Paulo Moura on his last wave to go with a 9.15. So his top 2 scores coming on his last 2 waves as he really starts to dial into the conditions out in the water.
Yeah, conditions are getting good at El Gringo, and when we having yesterday and a small condition but with a lot of action, today's everybody at home will watch what we really had on Arica. Waves here are super consistent. We are on one of the most consistent places on the earth. Arica, the city of eternal spring, delivered 360 days a year. Incredible weather. We haven't had rain in this area, Steve, for around 8,000 years. What's your real opinion about the area?
It's pretty wild around here, the most arid region in the world. Meanwhile, getting wet out in the water, Miguel Tadella driving through the barrel. And he was just about to make it out and he got clipped. He came off his board.
Yeah, and we have here the answer. This is the Peruvian. This is Lucas Messina that is looking for a combination of 1591 to get into the game. And we were talking about conditions, about the weather, Steve Jackson.
Yeah, here in the land of eternal spring, the Atacama Desert, one of the most arid regions in the world, it almost never rains last night. So last night when we were driving around and it started to sprinkle a little bit, it was kind of shocking to see that last night.
Yeah, this is the super cold winter of Arica, a little bit of spring. So we're having an amazing weather. This is a normal weather in Arica. Usually looks like it's gonna rain. It's a bit cloudy at the morning. This is the altiplanic weather, and around midday it starts to get sunny, and this is what's going on the driest places on the earth. Here we have with open riding. This is white jersey. This is Paulo Moura that needs a 7.25 to go into the lead. El brasileño Paulo Moura, he's on action. Estamos ya, muchachos, con 1 minuto en la regresiva cuando el peruano Miguel Tudela con una combinación de 16 y 40 está en primera posición. Tenemos ya bien coladito a Paulo Moura que está con un 15 y 90 necesitando un 7 y 25 para pasar a primer lugar. En tercer lugar, Lucas Messina está en combinación de 15.91, también así Lucas Silveira con la misma combinación. Steve Jackson.
We have less than a minute left on the clock. This 25-minute heat starting things off this morning has just flown by as these guys have been going fast and furious out in the water, dropping some really solid scores.
And we're going to go to the replay of the action here at El Gringo.
Here's a look at Miguel Tadella pulling in, getting deep, driving. Looked like he was going to make it out. And then here you see at the last second, just as he's about to come out to find daylight, getting tripped up. And here we have a look at Luca Messinas. Again, right now, Messinas in combination situation, as is Lucas Silveira. So Miguel Tadella and Paulo Moura really trying to run away with this heat right now, creating a lot of distance between themselves and the other 2 riders.
Y ya estamos ya con 10 segundos en la regresiva, cuando la situación iba a estar así, con Miguel Tudela pasando al siguiente round en primera posición y el señor Paulo Moura haciendo sus maletas ya para pasar en este hit. Ya vamos a comenzar en cualquier instante con el siguiente hit. Tenemos a Jerónimo Vargas, el brasileño, a Al Stewart, el hawaiano, Max Longhurst from Australia y Travis Beckman from Hawaii.
All right, so the horn has sounded starting Heat 6, Round 3 out in the water. It looks like right up off the bat, Travis Beckman taking a peek, but decides to pull off the back at the last second. Meanwhile, in that last heat, final results, what a heat we saw from Miguel Tadella and Paulo Moura, as those guys dropped some major scores, and really, unfortunately for Luca Messinas and Lucas Silveira, they just could never catch up and get into the mix. Meanwhile, out in the water, action already underway. We've seen Beckman take a peek. Now Longhurst, a quick drop and dug his nose. So waiting for some solid waves to be ridden, get things going here in Heat 6, the second heat of the day, round 3 here on day 5 at the Maui and Sons Arica Pro. Thank you again to our sponsors, Maui and Sons, Municipalidad de Arica, Corona Extra, Dragon Optics, Globe Footwear, and our media partners, Surfline, Chili Surf, Via de Escape, Latin Wave, Surf Photos, Arica Surf Blog, and Radio ADN. And look, Yo-Yo, we have something stacking up on the outside as waves continue to roll through.
Yeah, and sets are pumping. El Gringo is on fire. We are with the heat number 6, and here we are with Geronimo Vargas, Eyal Stewart from Hawaii, Max Longhurst from Australia, and Travis Beckman from the island of Maui, Hawaii. And we are receiving in any minutes the first scores of this heat number 6. Steve Jackson.
So again, right now out in the water, Geronimo Vargas from Brazil in red, Eyal Stewart from Hawaii in white, Max Longhurst from Australia in yellow, Travis Beckman from Hawaii in the black jersey. And there you can see, definitely a necessity today here at El Gringo. Wax up those boards, good boys, because you're going to need a little extra traction on there to survive these barrel sections here at El Gringo.
Ya estamos ya con 22 minutos en la regresiva en esta etapa del Maui and Sons Pro 2015. En cualquier instante ya veníamos con los primeros puntajes cuando se preparan ahí los chumbiños de Saquarema. En cualquier instante uno de los competidores con menos edad del campeonato va a dar su presentación. Él es Joao, más conocido como el Gran Chumbiño. And here we are with the information of the last heat. Steve Jackson.
So there's the rundown. Miguel Tedelo with a combined heat total of 16.40. Paulo Mora finishing in second with a combined total of 15.9. That left Luca Macinas and Lucas Silveira on the outside looking in. They were eliminated from the field of competition, being put in the combination situation and unable to dig themselves out of that hole. Meanwhile, outside, look at this, Yo-Yo. We got a set rolling through. Sends everybody scrambling for the horizon.
Yeah, and some bombs are starting to hit the reef this morning when we saw how quick change the ocean here in Arica. And to let know everybody, when we have open riding, this is red jersey, is Geronimo Vargas, the Brazilian that is getting his first scores here at El Gringo. And meanwhile, in Arica is the city of Eternal Spring, when we have the Hawaiian Eyal Stewart that he's been already on finals here on El Gringo. Eyal Stewart from the island of Oahu. Big greetings to the whole family McNamara that for sure is watching, Mr. Eyal Stewart.
And here we have Max Longhurst up and riding, trying to get around the section pumping and just getting blasted off his board from the whitewater behind him. So some tricky maneuvering, a quick wave exchange out in the water between Vargas, Stewart, and Longhurst. And now here we have Travis Beckman up and riding, grabbing the rail, going backside, almost dropping down to one knee, and then bailing off of that wave before it shuts down on him. So we've got all the riders on the scoreboard and accounted for, just waiting for the scores to register from the judges.
Yes, and any minute we're going to have the first scores of this heat number 6. Y todos los que están en casa ya, muchachos, estamos con la acción aquí del Maui Pro 2015. Y si ustedes están interesados en participar y jugar con nosotros, pueden enviarnos al Instagram Maui QS 2015 su mejor foto del día y pueden ganar un increíble par de lentes Dragon. Así que, muchachos, ya saben que pueden enviarnos todos sus fotos ahí a Maui QS 2015 vía Instagram. Agradecimientos importantes a la Municipalidad de Arica, Maui and Sons, Cerveza Corona, Dragon, Globe, Media Partners, Surfline, Chile Surf, Vía de Escape, Latin Wave, Surf Photos, Arica Surf Blogs y Radio ADN. Estamos ya con situación de ola. It's white jersey. This is the Hawaiian Eyal Stewart. He is not going to come out to this wave.
So just under 20 minutes remaining on the clock, waiting for scores to come in, as we've seen multiple waves ridden, and it's given a lot for the judges to sort through right off the bat here this morning in this second heat of the day. And now we have Geronimo Vargas up and riding, pulls in, driving down the line, comes out, and he will kick out. So Geronimo Vargas looking to work on his score. He started things off with a 2.25, looking to build from there with this secondary score. Meanwhile, first score coming in for Ayala Stewart, a 1.75, waiting for his second score. And we are also waiting for the first scores of Max Longhurst and Travis Beckman to come in. There's the second score for Stewart, a 1.45, a 1.40 falling into place for Longhurst, and a 1.15 for Beckman. So all these guys getting started with some minimal scores. They'll look to add something more substantial to their score sheet as we go along here in Heat 6.
Ya, muchachos, y una rápida información sobre lo que está sucediendo acá cuando tenemos a Ayala Stewart con 1.75, 1.45. Acabamos de tener un cambio de posición. La última ola de Jerónimo Vargas es un 3.10 y un 2.25. Está en la lideranza. En segundo lugar tenemos a Ayala Stewart, el hawaiano, que necesita un 3.60 para pasar a primero. El australiano Max Longhurst está necesitando un 1.80 para tomar el segundo lugar, y Travis Beckman de la isla de Maui necesita 2.5 para entrar en segundo.
Now yesterday, after we called off competition, a lot of these guys jumped out in the water for a free surf. I actually caught up with Travis Beckman after his free surf session, and he was saying he finally had a couple of really solid waves. He felt like he had gotten the best waves he had gotten so far from the contest as the swell started to build yesterday. And here up and riding, Max Longhurst. Max pulling in and manages to come out of that. So a quick in and out barrel for Longhurst. As we, if you recall, in his first heat of this event, Max was one of the first casualties here at El Gringo, busting out his fins and having to switch out his board in the middle of a heat. Hopefully he has a little more success out in the water right now.
Cuando ya les comentaba ya Steve Jackson ahí, del australiano Max Longhurst, en su primer año aquí en El Gringo, está dando una presentación increíble en estas performances aquí de calidad. Ya tenemos olas de 8 o 7 pies, cuando tenemos ya a Peto Negro, él es Travis Beckman, el muchacho de Hawái con 26 años. El chico de Hawái quiere hacer su paso a la siguiente ronda. Travis está necesitando un 2.5 para pasar a segundo lugar.
So again, Beckman up in riding, and to finish what I was saying before, he said it's still very difficult out there to contend with the conditions here at Flow Post, but he felt like he was finally starting to dial in a little bit.
Ya, muchachos, y en estos instantes nos vamos ya a la entrevista con el ganador del primer hit de esta mañana, hit número 5, Miguel Tudela.
Buenos días para todos, estamos con el ganador del primer hit del día, él es Miguel Tudela del Perú. Miguel, vimos dos tubazos increíbles en tu manga, cuéntanos un poco de eso.
Sí, la verdad, contento de tener la oportunidad de correr estas olas. Felizmente ayer lo pararon, hoy el mar está increíble, las olas están tubazo y nada, contento de que me tocaron a mí y puedo hacer buenos scores y avanzar la manga, ¿no? Total, lo que cuenta es avanzar y ganar el último hit.
¿Y qué piensas de lo que está marcando el suel para el día de mañana?
Nada, se viene gigante y si hay la posibilidad de hacerlo en el way, yo feliz. Las olas ahí son increíbles y buen tamaño, fuerza, así que donde tenga que ser, ahí yo contento.
¿Trajiste tabla para el way?
Sí, tengo un par ahí.
Qué bueno. Pues nada, felicidades y felicidades al Perú que seguro está sintonizando. Y bueno, no sé si le quieres dar gracias a algún patrocinador o algunos saludos en este punto.
Sí, nada, agradecerle a Volco, Mamá Fre, a Skull Candy, a Stans, a Conectados con Claro y al Merrick por las tablas que están increíbles. Y nada, a toda mi familia, a la gente de Punta Hermosa que me está apoyando, a la comitiva de peruanos que hay por acá y nada, contento de avanzar.
Ya, pues felicidades y volvemos entonces con los chicos en el booth.
Vista de nuestra amiga Begoña, el ganador así del hit anterior, este es Miguel Tudela del Perú. Y ya teníamos los primeros puntajes, teníamos el último puntaje ya de Ayala Stewart. En cualquier instante ya va a salir el dígito porque él está necesitando un 2.36 para pasar a segundo lugar.
All right, 15:15 on the clock. Geronimo Vargas with a 2.25 and a 3.10. Currently sitting in second spot. Ayala Stewart leading the way with a 1.75 and a 4.0. So again, these guys trying to build their scores.
Y cuando los muchachos de Factor 15 ya me informan que está saliendo el último replay de la acción aquí en el Gringo.
And here we have a look at that last wave from Ayala Stewart. This was worthy of a 4.0 from the judges. A quick little in and out barrel before he kicks out the back. That was enough to move Ayala Stewart to the front. As we're seeing these guys start off with some minimal scores, a little slower paced than the opening heat, but still some solid waves coming through, and we'll see these guys build on their scores And it's probably only a matter of time before we see one of these guys really dial in one of the big scores, as we saw in that last heat, 8s and 9s coming early here at El Gringo.
Ya muchachos, si las condiciones están mejorando aquí, ya pueden ver olas de 7 pies aquí en el Gringo. Está un show de tubos, ya comenzamos con los primeros hits y con combinaciones de arriba de 16 puntos, las cuales entregaron Miguel Tudela en el primer hit, también así Paulo Mora, cuando ya tenemos aquí open riding. This is Travis Beckman from Hawaii that is holding the barrel. It's not going to come out, and Travis Beckman is looking to get on second position for a 3:15 to get into the show.
So Beckman driving deep on that one, could not find the exit though. Meanwhile, on this way, Geronimo Vargas up and riding, grabs the rail, sets his line, but could never really get into the barrel. He was trying to stall for it, but that one just never really opened up for him.
Y teníamos ahí situación de ola. Él es el hawaiano que ya estaba en finalísimas, Eala Stewart. Cuando teníamos serie, there's a set coming. Y tenemos ya ola. Este es el australiano Longhurst. Se le cerró la ola a Longhurst.
So a quick wave exchange from 3 of our riders. None of them really liking what they saw. On that last wave in particular, we saw Max Longhurst drop in, start to set his line, and then just immediately hit the eject button and bail off his board, doing a little bit of a cannonball into the face of that wave.
Y ya estamos ya, muchachos, con últimos puntajes. Cuando los chicos estaban buscando tomar la lideranza, es muy complicada esta situación en el Gringo, porque si no consigues completar un tubo, ya el puntaje va a ser muy bajo, pero si lo completas puede ser un high score de alrededor 9-8 puntos, como lo vimos ya en las primeras olas de esta mañana. Así que ya estamos esperando ya que en cualquier instante estos chicos entren en sintonía con el mar y puedan dar un espectáculo de primera.
12:20 left on the clock, and right now, again, quick rundown of scores. Ayala Stewart leads the way with a 1.75 and a 4.0. Geronimo Vargas currently in second with a 2.25 and a 3.1. Max Longhurst currently in fourth, looking for a 2.66. Travis Beckman looking for a 3.01. So again, it's a minimal score so far with 12 minutes left on the clock. Still plenty of time in this 25-minute heat, as we're just past the halfway point. And if you look on your screen, you can see outside, it looks like something's starting to roll in. These guys might have a chance to dial in some bigger scores and create a little more separation between themselves out in the water as El Gringo starts to stack up out the back.
Es así, muchachos, que con 11 minutos y 30 segundos en la regresiva tenemos ahí al australiano Longhurst, que está buscando por un tubazo y no consigue salir. Yo creo que si hubiera sido un poco más pequeño, el muchacho sale. Tenemos ya la respuesta del hawaiano. Este es Eala Stewart de Hawái. Ahí poniendo un increíble tubo en el Gringo. Y teníamos ya la respuesta también ahí. Jerónimo Vargas, el brasileño, que consigue salir de la ola. Incredible situation just now at el Gringo. Steve Jackson.
So 3 riders up, 3 waves ridden, and it looks like that last wave, Geronimo Vargas getting the better of it, pulling in, making it out on the other end of things. That first wave, unfortunately, Max Longhurst looked like he was going to come out of the barrel, but got decapitated by the pitching lip, and oof, that just hurt to watch. So we saw, both ends of the spectrum on that last wave exchange. Vargas scoring some solid barrel time. Longhurst not so fortunate.
Estamos ya, muchachos, con 10 y 24. En cualquier instante ya va a salir a primera nota G, Jerónimo Vargas ahí. Cuando tenemos situación, we are situation, this Travis Beckman, the Hawaiian that is holding the barrel. He's been not very lucky, Travis Beckman, to find a good score this morning.
Oh, so there you have it. Travis Beckman taking a look at that one. He set his rail. Looked like he might drive through that one, but just unable to find the exit. So he will continue on his quest to register some bigger scores. He's currently in the 3rd spot, trailing Geronimo Vargas. Vargas in a 2nd spot. Ayala Stewart leading the way. And just to give you a quick look, Beckman needs a 3.01. Longhurst on the hunt for a 2.66. Trying to chase down Ayala Stewart and Geronimo Vargas, the current heat leaders.
Estamos ya, muchachos, con los últimos puntajes porque tenemos al hawaiano Al Stewart en primera posición. En segundo lugar tenemos a Jerónimo Vargas. Tercer lugar Travis Beckman necesita un 3.01 y Max Longhurst un 2.66 para pasar a segundo lugar.
So counting down to the 9-minute mark, it is Ayala Stewart leading the way. Max Longhurst moving up into second. Geronimo Vargas gets bumped to third. He now needs a 2.45. Travis Beckman, meanwhile, sitting in the fourth spot, only needs a 3.20. So these guys are all very close to each other score-wise with less than 9 minutes remaining. One wave could change this entire heat right now.
Yes, and here is El Gringo, and it's what's going on. Go hard or go home. And the situation is that we're waiting for the scores of Jerónimo Vargas, last scores, and when we have open riding, this is red jersey, this is the Brazilian Jerónimo Vargas, that he couldn't find the set, and set is coming, and everybody at home can take a look what El Gringo is delivering this morning. Incredible conditions, and waves are pumping.
And here we have a third wave in the set, rolling through and just bombing out El Gringo. It's heavy today out there, Yo-Yo.
And very soon, on the next hit, is going to be Dimitri Aubry from France, Guillermo Sad de Chile, Nahuel Amalfitano from Argentina, and Jacob Sikli from USA on the next hit. Y atento a todos que en el siguiente hit ya viene la ardilla Sad acá, uno de los que ya ha ganado esta edición del Maui and Sons Pro, uno de los grandes exponentes aquí del sur chileno, ya 3 veces campeón chileno Guillermo Sad, va en el siguiente hit en contra del francés Dimitri Aubry. En tercer lugar también tenemos a Nahuel Amalfitano, el argentino, el último argentino en competencia, a Jacob Sikli de Estados Unidos aquí debutando en el Gringo por un paso al round número 4.
All right, 7 minutes left on the clock, and right now it's Ayala Stewart from Hawaii leading the way. He's got a 4.0 and a 4.65 to combine for an 8.65 and the heat lead. So a couple of mid-range scores holding the lead for Ayala Stewart right now. Max Longhurst currently in second, trying to hold off Geronimo Vargas, who's chasing a 2.45, and Travis Beckman trying to suss out a 3.20. So again, minimal scores are all these guys need right now, as there's been very little in the way of separation. We have yet to see the big scores in this heat as we saw in the first heat. So it's still wide open right now with 6:35 left on the clock.
Yeah, but we're having the last two scores of Jerónimo Vargas, and it's going to be a good score for him, as 7.25 taking the lead right now. The Brazilian Jerónimo Vargas is changing the situation. And last wave of El Stewart is not going to be good. It's not going to change his 2 scores. Max Longhurst needs a 580 to go on second, and Travis Beckman needs a 630 to go on second place.
All right, so there you have the rundown in English. Give us the rundown in Spanish, Yo-Yo.
Ya, muchachos, porque ya tenemos un cambio de situación para el señor Jerónimo Vargas con 10.35. Tenemos a Al Stewart con 8.65. En tercer lugar a Max Longhurst con 5.55 y necesita un 5.80 para entrar a segundo. Y a Travis Beckman con 4.55 y necesita 6.30 para pasar al segundo lugar.
All right, so there you have it, 5:30 left on the clock. And Vargas trying to create a little extra separation, as Yo-Yo mentioned, a 7.25 on that last wave. The biggest score of the heat so far. That gives Vargas a slightly more solid hold on the lead. That bumps Ayala Stewart to second, forcing Max Longhurst to look for a 5.80. Travis Beckman needs a 6.30 now. So again, starting to see a little more separation out in the water as we hit the 5-minute mark, and the riders in the next heat will jump into the keyhole and make their way out to the lineup, get ready to go into action for Heat 7, which is on deck.
Ya estamos ya con 5 minutos en la regresiva ya, y tenemos a Max Longhurst de Australia que necesita un 5.80 y a Travis Beckman un 6.30 para entrar en segunda posición y en carrera para el siguiente round.
And again, we haven't really touched on it yet this morning, but be sure all of your photos that you post online and on Instagram, be sure to hashtag them, hashtag MauiQS 2015 for your chance to enter into the running to win a Dragon Optics gift pack. Also, be sure to stay tuned online to worldsurfleague.com for all the latest news from this event and all of our other World Tour events. We have event schedules, rankings, and all the pertinent information online at worldsurfleague.com. Also, be sure to check out World Surf League and Maui & Sons on Facebook.
Ya muchachos, y con 3 minutos y 50 la situación sigue así, con Max Longhurst, el australiano, necesitando un 5.80 y Travis Beckman un 6.30 para pasar a segundo lugar. And on the next hit is going to come Dimitri Auvray from France, Guillermo Sat from Chile, the last Argentinian en competencia, Nahuel Amalfitano, and Jacob Sigley from USA.
I had the good fortune of meeting Nahuel for the first time the other day. He was actually jumping in the back of a pickup truck with me to head down the road so he could go jump out in the water and get a couple of waves, staying up on the top of the hill at one of the local hostels. One of the local hostels, I should say, not hostile. But Nahuel, really cool, real mellow guy. Looking forward to see him compete out in the next heat, going up again against Dimitri Auvray, Guillermo Sat, and Jacob Ziegler. Meanwhile, out in the water, less than 3 minutes remaining. Geronimo Vargas leads the way. Ayala Stewart holding on to that second spot to advance out of the heat, trying to fend off Max Longhurst. Longhurst in the hunt for a 5.80. Travis Beckman trying to dial in a 6.30 to change his fortunes out in the water. 2:35 left on the clock.
Y estamos ya con 2 minutos y 30 en la regresiva, cuando estábamos al australiano Max Longhurst necesitando un 5.80, teníamos a Travis Beckman necesitando un 6.30 para pasar a segundo lugar.
All right, so again, thank you everybody for tuning in and joining us here on day 5 of competition here at the Maui & Sons Arica Pro at El Gringo. On the water right now, 2 minutes remaining in heat number 6, round 3. Looking to finish up round 3 today and run through round 4 as well. So plenty of action in store today. Solid swell pumping through, and here we have Max Longhurst up and riding. Trying to get around the section, slides up into the pocket, looking for the barrel to set up, but this is going to be one big foam ball pushing out of the barrel. He's never going to get quite in there. Again, Max Longhurst looking for a 5.80. I don't know if that wave's going to do it. That wave really didn't cooperate with him very much.
Yeah, probably he's going to change his score, and he's going to need a short score like to get into the second place, but it probably is not enough for a 5.80 that needs the Australian to get into the second place. The same with the Hawaiian, he needs a 6.30, but El Gringo is a wave of consequence. It's a super incredible wave, so any minute the competitors can get into a good symphony with the ocean and have deliver a good score through this hit.
Yeah, so let's wait and see who can nail down the big scores on their score sheet and advance through their heats. And here we have Beckman up and riding on the right-hander.
Cuando Travis Beckman está buscando cambiar sus notas de 2.35 y 2.20. Vamos a ver si el hawaiano consigue cambiar sus puntajes. When we have open riding, this is why this is the Hawaiian Ayala Stewart that is finding a good score. He is looking to replace a 4 points. He's been already on finals on these competitions. This is Ayala Stewart from the island of Oahu, Hawaii.
So counting down the final 20 seconds of the heat. And time running out for Max Longhurst and Travis Beckman.
Ya tenemos 10 en la regresiva y se despediría el australiano Max Longhurst de este campeonato. También así Travis Beckman, el hawaiano, dándole el paso al ya finalista de este campeonato, Ayala Stewart, y el gran Jerónimo Vargas de Brasil.
So the horn has sounded. That's the end of Heat 6, and it looks like Geronimo Vargas will come away with the heat win. Ayala Stewart will follow him out of this heat in second spot and move on to round 4. Now we await the countback and the start of the next heat coming up in Heat 7. Dimitri Ovray, Guillermo Sat, Nahuel Amalfitano, and Jacob Zekley will battle it out here at El Gringo.
Y ahí, muchachos, un saludo a Orlando Morales de la 10ª región del sector de Carel Mapu, con increíbles olas en la sección, en el lugar de Carel Mapu, ahí cerca de Puerto Mora. Los chicos de ese lugar, he tenido la oportunidad de surfear en Carel Mapu, increíbles olas a ellos desde aquí del norte de Chile. Espero que estén todos allá muy bien con la lluvia. Ya, muchachos.
We have a situation change, Yo-Yo. Ayala Stewart scored a 5.80 on that last wave. So actually he finishes first, Vargas finishes second. They both will move forward like we mentioned, but this will just change where they are placed in the round 4 heat. So again, Ayala Stewart pulling out a 5.80 in the last second to win the heat. And Geronimo Vargas bumped to second. He also advances on to the next round. Horn has sounded. We are underway with this next 25-minute heat, Heat 7 out in the water. And it looks like the man in yellow, Nahuel Amalfitano, we were talking about him before, getting on the board first, finding that first barrel of the heat.
Y ya, muchachos, teníamos ahí ya el primer drop de Nahuel Amalfitano. Una increíble control del tubo es Nahuel Amalfitano, que estaba consiguiendo ya su primer puntaje.
And it looks like we have waves stacking up out the back, Yo-Yo, and it's white. Guillermo Sat taking a look, takes a long drop, slides up into the pocket, and here he is trying to set up the barrel. And oof.
Cuando teníamos ahí a Guillermo Sat, la ardilla, que estaba ya consiguiendo su primer ola aquí en el campeonato en el día número 5, round 3, hit número 7. Está la ardilla Sat, que está teniendo ya sus primeros puntajes aquí en la ex isla Alacrán.
So again, just getting started out in the water. Dimitri Ovray in red, coming to us from Hossegor, France. Currently ranked 103rd on the 2015 qualification series. He is joined by Guillermo Sat, coming into this event ranked 219th. Also out in the water, Nahuel Amalfitano, and rounding out the heat from the United States, Jacob Zekley.
Y la ardilla Sat ya, muchachos, está empezando el show esta mañana. Vamos a ver si entra en buena sintonía con las olas y consigue sumar puntaje ya, muchachos. Cuando me informan que nos vamos al replay de Guillermo Sat, and here we go with the replay of the last wave of the Chilean Guillermo Sat. He's getting into the drop, making a bottom turn, holding the brake over there to get into the barrel, and he was not able to control the full ride.
So just waiting for scores to come in. Again, we saw waves from Nahuel Amalfitano and Guillermo Sat to get things started. So we are underway out in the water here with Heat 7, Round 3. We've got one more heat to go for Round 3. And then we'll go into Round 4 heats. So plugging right along here on Day 5.
Ya, muchachos, y con 2 minutos en la regresiva ya estamos teniendo los primeros puntajes de esta mañana. Tuvimos ya presentaciones increíbles esta mañana de Miguel Tudela ganando hit, y en el hit anterior el hawaiano Ayala Stewart en los últimos minutos cambió la situación de la manga para llegar a primer lugar. And we are with 20 minutes remaining already, and we are receiving the first score, and it's going to be a good score for the Argentinian Nahuel Amalfitano. Any moments we're going to receive the last scores, and he is taking the lead with a 7.25, the Argentinian Nahuel Amalfitano.
So Nahuel Amalfitano starting things off in strong fashion, a 7.25. Now he'll look for a backup score. Guillermo Sat starting off with a 2.90. Now just waiting to hear from Dimitri Ovray and Jacob Zekley. And here we have Dimitri taking a look and promptly kicking out.
Ya, muchachos, Y muchachos, me informan del set. A ver, vamos a ver qué acontece, porque ya podemos entrar en cualquier instante en acción. Tenemos ahí situación de remada, es el argentino Amalfitano que se está ubicando muy bien en el lineup. Está remando, este es Nahuel Amalfitano, que tiene mucha experiencia ya con varias temporadas aquí en el gringo. El Che Amalfitano ahí consiguiendo asegurar un tubito. And this was Nahuel Amalfitano from Argentina that has been already having experience on el gringo. He's one of the Argentinians that comes from many seasons at el gringo.
So again, Amalfitano starting off with a 7.25, waiting for his second score to come in.
And we go right now with the interview of hit winner Arica Stewart from Hawaii.
Hola a todos, estamos acá con el ganador de la segunda manga del día, la sexta manga de la ronda 2, Arica Stewart from Hawaii. Arica, we saw your heat, you served so good. What can you tell us about it?
The waves are just pumping right now. Yesterday was really small on the day before, so now we got some swell, and yeah, the barrels are nice and very big, so I like it like that.
So good. It's your fourth time here, right?
Yeah, it's my fourth time coming to Arica. I just love everything about this place, the food, the waves, just the weather, everything.
Bueno, él dice que su hit, que está muy contento de que las olas mejoraron, que está mucho mejor que ayer y le tocaron buenas olas y que es su cuarta vez en Arica y que le encanta la comida y le encantan las olas. Anyone to say hello or thanks back home?
Yeah, Patagonia for sending me here, and definitely Liam McNamara back home if you're watching. Thanks, Liam, for everything you've done for me. Yeah.
Okay, so congratulations, Alan, and we hope to see you back here soon.
Thank you, yeah.
Back to you guys. You're welcome.
Yeah, here we are with the action. 90 minutes remaining and we have the first scores. Nahuel Amalfitano is on first position with 760. Guillermo Sat is on second place. When we're here, we are with Jason Sickley, the American from USA. Jason Sickley is trying to get the scores to get into the race on this hit.
There you can see on that last wave, Jacob Zeekley making himself as small as possible, trying to get through that shrinking end section. Unfortunately, he just got pinched in there and could not find the exit. The 2.25 opening wave for Zeekley. On the other side of things, Nahuel Amalfitano with a 7.25 and 3.25 holds the lead. He'll look to replace that 3.25 with something a little more sizable as he goes along through this heat. Currently in second, Guillermo Sat, and in third, Dimitri Ovre, in looking for a minimal score.
While we had an interview, we gonna repeat the last waves on the action here at El Gringo. Tenemos ahí la repetición de las olas que perdimos mientras teníamos la entrevista con Arica Stewart, ese peto amarillo, Amalfitano, el argentino, que estaba necesitando cambiar un 3 y 25 cuando teníamos ahí al francés Dimitri Ovre con un increíble control del tubo que no consigue terminar. Ese es el francés Dimitri Ovre.
All right, so to continue with my rundown of the situation out in the water, Amalfitano leading the way, Sat currently second, Dimitri Ovre currently in the third spot, and Jacob Zeekley in fourth. All of these guys looking to build on their scores. It's pretty tight out there right now.
Y teníamos acción ahí del francés Dimitri Ovre que nos está entrando en sintonía con estos drops aquí esta mañana en el Gringo. Muchachos, y ya siendo las 9 y 14 minutos, estábamos en el hit 7 del round número 3 con Guillermo Sat la Ardilla, uno de los grandes exponentes del surf chileno y del Tour Mundial en el agua.
So again, right now, there you can see situation change out in the water as Dimitri Ovre has moved into the second and advancing spot. His best result of the year so far to this point has been a 9th in the opening QS event, the Shoe City Pro in Huntington Beach, California. He's still looking to improve upon that result. We'll see what he's able to put together here at this event. He's looked pretty solid in the opening portion of this event. Right now sitting as second with 16:30 on the clock, trying to advance on to round 4 competition.
Y es así, muchachos, que Steve Jackson le estaba comentando a todos que vamos a entrar con el round número 4 ya, con los mejores de este torneo. Hemos tenido presentaciones increíbles con condiciones muy complicadas aquí en el Gringo, condiciones mínimas con olas de alrededor 1 metro. En el día número 4 los chicos de la Armada Peruana, también los chilenos, dieron un espectáculo de show. También hacía algunos de los hawaianos que estaban sobreviviendo a este torneo. Y estamos con 15 minutos aquí con Steve Action Jackson y toda la acción desde el Maui and Sons Pro 2015.
And there you can see Johnny Norris and Kevin Sullivan down at water's edge, keeping an eye on things out in the water. We saw Kevin advance through his heat yesterday. We'll see him coming up later on in round 4. So the Hawaiian getting the job done yesterday, looking to continue his good fortunes here today. Again, we'll see Kevin Sullivan coming up in just a little while.
Ya cuando teníamos a Kevin Sullivan ahí en imagen, uno de los hawaianos, sobrino del gran Pancho Sullivan de la isla de Maui. Este es Kevin Sullivan, que ha tenido una presentación increíble acá en los free surf. El hawaiano Kevin Sullivan de la isla de Maui. Ya se viene gente, así que en cualquier instante, ya en el siguiente hit viene Alonso Correa del Perú, uno de los hermanos Correa que están dando un espectáculo, los chicos de Punta Hermosa. Joao Chianca, uno de los menores competidores del evento, también así Paul César Distingui, y al León Vicuña de Chile, muchachos. Así que todos atentos en Chile, que ya se nos viene el León Vicuña, uno de los grandes riders de Chile y uno de los grandes exponentes de la modalidad de tube rides, que va a dar su presentación en el Gringo.
Now, I was mentioning previous results this year for Dimitri Ovre. The man chasing him down right now, Guillermo Sat, currently in 3rd position, trying to bump Dimitri out of that spot and get into advancement position. Guillermo Sat, his best result so far this year was a 49th in the second event of the year, the Vulcan Pipe Pro. And he would, he wants to improve upon that here at this event.
Cuando tenemos ahí al argentino líder de este hit, Nahuel Amalfitano, que estaba buscando encajar un tubo con una segunda maniobra ahí. Nahuel Amalfitano está necesitando cambiar un 3 y 25 para pasar al siguiente round.
So again, Amalfitano trying to replace a 3.25 as his backup score. Opened things up strong with the 7.25, the highest scoring wave of the heat so far. Still needs to firm up that backup score as he leads the way. Dimitri Ovre currently 2nd, Guillermo Sat sitting 3rd, and the American Jacob Zeekley trying to dig himself out of 4th position.
E aí todo mundo lá em Brasil atento que já viene o Joao Chianca, uno dos hermanos Chianca aqui, o hermano del gran Chumbinho, que son parte del Brazilian Storm, que está tomando posição aqui no Gringo. Então Marquinhos Monteiro, o gran maestre Monteiro lá de Saquarema, estão aqui seus discípulos, aqueles que você trouxe de la mano a surfar aqui no Gringo, van a já entrar no show de tubos essa manhã em la ex Isla La Cara. Então todo mundo já atento que o Joao Chianca ya va a entrar na batería. Where we have open riding, and this is Guillermo Sat, la ardilla, que la conoce muy bien. Vamos a ver si continúa con una maniobra. Un muy buen palazo le metió Guillermo Sat. No. Teníamos ahí a Nahuel Amalfitano en un wipeout, Steve Jackson.
And Nahuel Amalfitano taking off and buried his nose and went head first over the end of his board, diving for lobsters on that one. Not exactly something you want to try doing here at El Gringo. Those rocks are not very inviting, shall we say.
Estamos ya, muchachos, con 12 minutos y 20 segundos con Nahuel Amalfitano, que está ganando por 6 y 60. Dimitri Ovre necesita un 8.35 para tomar la lideranza. Y la ardilla Sat, el famoso Guillermo, necesita nada más que un punto para entrar en el segundo lugar. También el americano de USA necesita un 1.65 para pasar a segundo. Ya con 12 en la regresiva, me informan los chicos de Factor 15 que nos vamos a un replay de las últimas olas. And here we go with the replay of the last action on El Gringo. And we have Guillermo Sat holding the barrel here at El Gringo, passing the first section of quirófano, going to the chiropractic. This is Guillermo Sat from Arica, Chile. And that's Nahuel Amalfitano with a small wipeout at the left of El Gringo. We were telling everybody how heavy is El Gringo with small conditions. Right now we're having an incredible show with barrels. We still have very, very critical situations on this morning. Steve Jackson,
Yeah, one of the things you have to keep an eye on here in El Gringo, it's always heavy, whether it's big or small. To put it, use a skateboarding reference, it's like falling off your skateboard onto broken up concrete. It's just jagged rock out there, more so than a reef. And it's just going to tear you and your equipment up if you're not careful. So these guys really need to be careful. Fortunately, it's not breaking right on that rock ledge like it was the last couple of days with the smaller conditions. But with these bigger waves, a whole new set of conditions to keep an eye on, as there's a lot of current, a lot of power, and it can push you down. If you slam that bottom, it's not going to be a pretty outcome.
Así, muchachos, ya con 10:30 tenemos condiciones ya que se están poniendo espectaculares. Ya podemos ver los primeros sets de la mañana aquí en el Gringo con condiciones increíbles, muchachos. Teníamos ya la última ola de blanco, era un 4:50 de Guillermo Satt. Él está ya en segunda posición. We have a situation change. Guillermo Satt from Chile, white jersey, is getting into the second place. His last score was 4.50.
So coming down to the 10-minute mark, Noel Amalfitano leading the way, trying to advance on to round 4 and continue on through the competition. So far this year, his best result on the QS, a 33rd at the Rip Curl Argentina Pro. Definitely trying to build on that. Also trying to build on his scores right now. Dimitri Ovre up and riding, driving through this foamy left-hand barrel, and then will kick out at the end. So a quick in-and-out barrel ride as he was driving down the line on that wave. Ovre currently sitting third again, chasing at 5.25, trying to play catch-up with Noel Amalfitano and Guillermo Satt.
Cuando teníamos ya la última ola del francés Dimitri Ovre, y en cualquier instante nos van a dar los puntajes. Él necesita un 5.25 para pasar a segundo, y el chico de Estados Unidos, Jacob Sicklin, necesita un 5.15 para pasar al segundo lugar.
So quick rundown of the scores right now as we come down to 9 minutes left in the heat. Noel Amalfitano leading the way with a 7.25, a 3.25. Guillermo Satt with a 2.9, a 4.50. Sits in second spot. Dimitri Ovre chasing a 5.25. And Jacob Zekeli with only one wave ridden needs a 5.15 as a backup score, which would actually be his new high score if he's going to move into that second spot and advance on to round 4.
Ya, muchachos, si nos están informando los chicos de Factor 15 que nos vamos ya al replay de la acción aquí en la ex Isla Alacrán. Lo teníamos, es el francés, es Dimitri Ovre, uno de los chicos que ha dado un show en los hits anteriores. La Armada Francesa acá representando en el Gringo. Creo que va a ser insuficiente porque él estaba necesitando un 5.25 para pasar a segundo lugar. Es Dimitri Ovre de Francia. También así estábamos ya agradeciendo en esta mañana a nuestros auspiciadores Maui and Sons, Municipalidad de Arica, Cerveza Corona, Dragon y Glove. También así a nuestros media partners, Surfline, Chile Surf, Vía de Escape, Latin Wave, Surf Photos, Arica Surf Blog y Radio ADN. Así que, muchachos, muchas gracias a ellos que hacen posible que este evento salga a todo el mundo con el mejor espectáculo de tubos del Tour Mundial.
And for all of you at home watching online at worldsurfleague.com, be sure to let your friends know that's the place to tune in for live webcast coverage as we work our through the remainder of this event, as well as all of our other World Tour events. Live webcast streaming on worldsurfleague.com. Also, all of the information you need to know about the World Tour, events, rankings, fantasy league, you name it, it's on there. Also, rider information. A lot of the information I am using here during the webcast is available online at worldsurfleague.com.
7 minutos para que se termine la serie, 7 minutes remaining. Last wave off red, 4.65. 4.65 less off red.
All right, so scores coming in from upstairs, less than 7 minutes remaining. Noel Amalfitano, the Argentinian, leads the way. Guillermo Satt from Chile currently in second. Dimitri Ovre, the Frenchman, needs a minimal score, 2.75, to move into second spot. And Jacob Zekeli still looking for his second wave ridden, needs a 5.15 to change his situation and try and advance out of this heat.
Ya, muchachos, y el maestro Montero ya me informaba que una de las informaciones importantes de saber es que este chico, Joao Chumbiño, uno de los menores del evento, le encantan estas condiciones, así que vamos a tener un espectáculo de una de las nuevas generaciones de Brasil. Él es campeón carioca, ha sido campeón en todas las categorías. Este año tuvo un performance increíble en la famosísima ola de Jaws. Él es Joao Chumbiño, uno de los menores del evento.
2.75 para avanzar al segundo.
Okay, so right now with about 5:50 left on the clock, again, it's Nahuel Amalfitano leading the way. Guillermo Sat currently in second and getting ready to jump into the keyhole and make their way out. Coming up in the last heat of round 3. Heat 8, we will see Alonso Correa from Peru go up against João Chianca from Brazil, Paul Cesar from France, and Leon Landea from Chile. Again, they are coming up next in the final heat of round 3, and then from there we'll kick into round 4 here on day 5.
Cuando ya, muchachos, se nos prepara el siguiente hit, uno de la Armada peruano ya, él es Alonso Correa, también así Joao Chianca, el hermano de el Gran Chumbiño. Tenemos a Paul César Distinguea y también al León Vicuña, chicos, así que todo Chile atento. Todo el mundo atento que ya se viene el León Vicuña en el siguiente hit.
So we're getting down to it again right now. Dimitri Ovre trying to track down a 2.75, a minimal score pretty much to bump Guillermo Sat from second. So Sat's going to look to try and increase his score with the time remaining. The Frenchman Ovre looking to add a score that will advance him out of the heat. And currently, Jacob Zeekley, the man in the black jersey, he opened things up with a 2.25, but he's still looking for his second wave of the heat. Not quite sure what's been going on with Zeekley, but time's running out. If he's been waiting for something more to his liking to come through, you know, it's now or never to add that second score and try and throw his hat back into the ring on this Heat 7 battle, or else, you know, it's time to pack up your bags and head home, Yo-Yo.
Es así, muchachos, cuando recibía unos increíbles saludos del maestre Montero, quien trajo a los hermanos Chumbiños aquí de la mano a correr las olas del gringo. Ahora está mandando saludos enormes para sus alumnos. Él es uno de los surfers con uno de los mayores performance. Es así que si lo conocen ustedes pueden saber de quién les hablo. Él no necesita presentación, el gran maestre Marquitos Monteros, uno de los grandes del Tour Mundial de Olas Grandes y de esta modalidad aquí de tubos en el gringo. Así que ya, muchachos, estamos con 3 minutos y 20 segundos cuando Nahuel Amalfitano, el argentino, ya se está posicionando en el round número 4. Tenemos a la Ardilla Sat que necesita un 6-1 para tomar la lideranza. Teníamos ahí un drop de Nahuel que no consigue encajar en el riel.
So 3 minutes left on the clock. Time running out for Ovre and Zeekley to dial in some scores if they're going to advance out of this heat. On the other side of things, trying to fend those guys off, Guillermo Sat, he's going to want to strengthen his score, sitting on a 4.50 and a 2.90 for second. Definitely wants to increase those scores, try and replace that 2.90 and hold off Dimitri Ovre and Jacob Zeekley. Zeekley's been very quiet out there. Dimitri Ovre, on the other hand, looking for something solid. And here we have Zeekley up and riding. Sets his line, trying to get into the barrel, but this thing never really stands up and opens up for him. So he'll kick out a little frustrated. He finally has a second wave ridden in this heat, but not the score he was looking for.
Y teníamos ya ahí esta mañana, en pocos instantes ya va a comenzar el siguiente hit con Alonso Correa. Tenemos a Joao Chianca, uno de los jóvenes con menos edad en el campeonato, el más pequeño con 14 años, el brasileño de la Barriña. Está ya entrando en el siguiente hit Paul César Distinguí y también el León Vicuña de Chile.
And here it is, crunch time, and there you can see the second and third place riders, Sat and Ovre, looking at that wave. Crunch time for Ovre, 1:35 left on the clock, needs a 2.75. And here we have Zeekley up and riding and kicking off the back, off the view screen. Again, getting busy late, trying to suss out a 5.15 to advance out of the heat. That wave will not work in his favor either, as he remains in 4th position. Now with just about a minute remaining, Ovre, it's now or never, Yo-Yo. He needs to try and track down that minimal score of 2.75 if he's going to catch Sat. But Guillermo sitting right on him out in the lineup. So here it is, 50 seconds left on the clock.
Y un saludo muy enorme a todos los que asisten a la señal internacional, en especial a Elías Escobedo y a su lagarto Murdoch, que están mirando aquí en pantalla. Un saludo para él. También así a toda la gente de Brasil, que ya se viene Joao Chanca y a mi gran amigo, uno de los personas que tiene el mejor performance en el gringo, al gran Marcos Montero, que se le está echando mucho de menos en estas condiciones aquí en el espectáculo de el Maui and Sons Pro 2015. Ya estamos ya con 15 segundos. Steve Jackson, 15 in the countdown.
This is it. Ovre needs a wave, but it looks like Sat's going to drop in and use priority. So a situation there at the end. Ovre was looking for a 2.75. It looks like Guillermo Sat's going to use the block as he pulled in behind him. So we'll wait for that to sort out. Right now, it's Amalfitano taking the win. Sat in 2nd, Ovre in 3rd, Ezekiel in 4th. But again, we'll wait for the official results before we give you any further updates.
Ya muchachos, y nos vamos al último replay aquí de la situación en el agua. Era una interferencia llamada de rojo en blanco. Vamos ya con la repetición. En cualquier instante ya me informan los chicos de Factor 15 porque ha sido llamada una interferencia de rojo en blanco, and it's been called an interference on red on white. Dimitri Ovre into Guillermo Sat on the last wave. Y ya nos vamos ya con la repetición. Here we are with the replay of the last situation.
There's a look at the replay, that last wave exchange between Ovre and Sat. Ovre needed to go. He needed a 2.75. Sat looking to block him and hold him off to advance out of the heat. And it's going to be Dimitri Ovre getting tagged with the interference call on that one. So, again, it will be Amalfitano and Sat advancing out. The Argentinian and the Chilean survive this heat and will move on to battle it out later in round 4. In the meantime, we are underway with Heat 8, the last heat of round 3. 25 minutes out in the water. Top 2 waves will be scored. Top 2 riders will advance on. And give us a quick rundown of who's out in the water right now, Yo-Yo.
Ya muchachos, y ya nos vamos con Alonso Correa del Perú, con Joao Chanca, el brasileño, con 14 años de la ciudad de Saquarema. Tenemos al francés César Paul Distingat, que ya se repite con segundo año aquí en el gringo. También a León Vicuña, uno de los grandes exponentes de tubos aquí en el siguiente hit. Muchachos, y acá estamos con la información. Steve, here we have the information of the last hit.
There you can see it. Nahuel Amalfitano from Argentina taking the win. Guillermo Sat from Chile fending off Dimitri Ovre in the final seconds. He advances out as well. We'll see both of them again in round 4 action. Dimitri Ovre, Jacob Zekeli, unfortunately unable to put together the proper wave scores. They are eliminated from the field of competition, and there you can see the riders out in the water right now: Alonso Correa, Joan Chianca, Paul Cesar, and Leon Landea. As we are underway here with Heat 8, the final heat of round 3, before going right into round 4. Keep in mind, round 4 will be 4 heats of 4, and then we'll go into man-on-man competition with quarters, semis, and finals. And getting things started, Alonso Correa from Peru.
Cuando ya tenemos ahí uno de los hermanos Correa, el menor, él es Alonso Correa. Tenemos ya la respuesta de Peto Negro. We have open riding. This is black jersey. León Vicuña. You can look at home. What's the quality of this competitor? He stood up on the board with a complete control of the barrel, and we have here the youngest of the competition. He is the young Yanka of 14 years old. What an incredible competitor, this one of 14 years old, Joao Chianca.
How old is he again?
He's 14.
14. So there you go, Joan Chianca. We've seen him in junior competition. Here he is on the at the QS level, giving it a go here at El Gringo. Definitely not for the weak-hearted, and this kid showing, he's got some guts paddling out and battling these guys here in some pretty solid conditions at El Gringo.
Y muchachos, me informan que ya nos vamos a la entrevista del ganador del hit anterior.
Gracias, chicos. Aquí estamos con Nahuel Amalfitano. Él es el ganador del tercer hit del día. Nahuel, cuéntanos un poco cómo fue tu hit, qué pasó, cómo está la ola.
Bueno, está bastante raro el mar, está la marea bajando, así que está un poco lento y tira de vez en cuando algunas buenas izquierdas. Como siempre, esta ola es muy difícil y demanda mucha energía en el momento que estás surfeando. Así que bueno, tuve suerte de poder agarrarme una primera ola como para arrancar con un score y después bueno, asegurar con una intermedia. Y que bueno, los chicos tampoco pudieron agarrar muy buenas olas el resto del hit, así que eso me favoreció un poco y me facilitó la primera posición.
Me contabas que es tu tercera vez acá. ¿Cómo te había ido antes?
Sí, es la tercera vez que hago este evento y en la mayoría, en los dos eventos perdí en esta ronda, en la de 32, así que contento de haber pasado a la ronda de 16 y con todo para la próxima, con fe y a tratar de pegarse los tubos y divertirse.
¿Y qué piensas del swell que está viniendo?
Se esperan unas olas grandes para mañana y bueno, vamos a estar a la expectativa, estamos preparados para lo que venga, así que ojalá que esté bueno y que esté en buenas condiciones.
Bueno, ¿alguien que le quieras mandar saludos o agradecimiento?
Bueno, quiero agradecer a todos los que apoyan siempre y a toda la gente amiga, ahí a los pibes y a toda mi familia que están mirando desde Mar del Plata, a toda la gente que me conoce que se siente la energía. Gracias por todo.
Felicitaciones, Nahuel, y volvemos con ustedes al boot. Gracias.
Ya muchachos, estamos ya de vuelta aquí con la acción. When we have open ride, this yellow jersey, Cesar Paul Distinga is not finding the control on the barrel. And this morning I'm once again with my good friend from Hawaii, Travis Beckman. Good morning, Travis.
Good morning, Papi.
Here we are, Travis. We had you on the hits before. And what's the situation in El Gringo? You couldn't find the synchrony with the waves. What's going on with Travis? He was giving an incredible performance and he couldn't find the good waves on this morning.
Yeah, no, that was a bit of a struggle right there. Got two that I definitely would have made the heat if I made the barrel, but I just couldn't find myself in the right position and coming out. It just bad timing, I think. And then my last wave, the boys told me if I had just grabbed the rail and gone left, I probably would have made the heat, and I just kind of hesitated and blew it. So it was my fault no matter what, but is what it is.
Cuando estoy aquí con Travis Beckman, uno de los grandes riders aquí, que ha demostrado una increíble performance en el Gringo, nos comentaba que no pudo entrar con sintonía en las olas, estuvo muy complicado, dice que en su última ola pudo haber tomado la izquierda, decidió por la derecha y así no hizo posible él poder pasar al siguiente hit. Travis, conditions are changing in el Gringo, what's like into the water?
It's pretty much pumping right now. It's as good as it gets. I mean, I got a sick couple of visions, so I can't complain. I got the best view in the world, but I took a good beating too. It's a little bit bigger than yesterday, probably like twice the size, truthfully. It means it's a little bit further out, so there's a little bit more water moving. But it was, in general, it's a hard heat out there, I haven't surfed here many times, so when it changes so consistently, you kind of have to find yourself figuring out how to change with the surf. So there's a lot going on out there, but there's amazing waves to be had.
Y es así que Travis Beckman está comentando que la ola está el doble, quizá más o menos el triple de lo que estaba ayer. Entonces muy diferente encontrar el line-up, encontrar el buen quiebre, el lugar en el correcto en el cual estar para encajar los tubos. Y es una de las cosas que le jugó una mala pasada en este hit anterior. And here we are with the competitors area. The boys from USA.
Alan Schuler, Johnny Norris. Unfortunately, they lost yesterday. Boys, all good surfers, all falling out. The locals, I think the locals really know this wave very well, which is a very big advantage. So I think they're kind of showing us what needs to be done. So I'm glad to see a bunch of the local boys doing really well. Still got two Hawaiians in it though, Ayala Stewart and Kevin Sullivan. Kevin Sullivan is in the second heat of the next round. So looking forward to watching Sully get the job done and Ayala in the next one. There's my fellow competitor Max right there. Me and him unfortunately lost. Is what it is.
Y es así que Travis Beckman estaba comentando ahí que los locales, los chilenos y la gente que tiene conocimiento más del pick está llevándose los hits debido a que eso está ayudando mucho porque las condiciones han cambiado radicalmente esta mañana. Así con Travis Beckman de Hawaii estoy aquí dándole toda la información de este hit. And we're gonna give a quick information about the hit. It's still very quiet with León Vicuña, Alonso Correa, Paul César Distinguí and Joao Chianca with no scores that are helping to go into the next round.
And White just took a beating Joao. Inside, bad spot to fall, my man.
Yeah, here we are with some sets. Some sets on.
Boy, on the ledge.
Yes, and here,
Just make it.
here we are with open riding. This is
Negro.
black jersey. Tenemos a Negro, a León
Dale,
Vicuña. And when we were talking about local acknowledgement, this is one of the boys that
Yep.
has been having the last years an incredible growing performance on El Gringo Travis.
Leon is actually staying at Arica Surf Hostel with me in the dorm, and he's actually been charging the last couple of big days that it was going. He was always making it look easy, very smooth, goofy footer.
Sí, cuando Travis Beckman nos comentaba que el conocimiento local es una de las cosas que está ayudando mucho a los competidores a llegar a pasar al siguiente hit. Así que en cualquier instante vamos a ver aquí a la Armada chilena porque también está en competencia el Merelo, uno de los grandes tube riders de Chile, aquí en el Gringo Travis, and we are receiving the first scores, the first good scores for León Vicuña. We're still waiting for the score. At the same time with Joao Chianca. Joao Chianca is one of the youngest competitors of the event with 14 years old.
Oh wow,
The Brazilian
that's
boy,
awesome.
he already has been challenging the last season on Jaws, waves of very big reputation.
Speaking of yellow, amarillo,
And this-
going too fast. Close out, good vision, but not making it. All right,
Hey.
so Joao got a 4 for his second wave. Leon 5.75 for his second wave.
When we have open riding,
Rojo going. Oh, he's coming at no. He's coming. He's got caught up by the white water. Unfortunately. Here we
And
go. Black again, right behind. Here we go. Local boy inside. Too deep. Sometimes these lefts they go a little too long right now because I think the tide is starting to push really hard. So I think these guys have to be really smart with what they're choosing, which is hard to do today. Like I said, like you said, it's ever changing. It's very different than yesterday. So if you're not from here, it's hard to figure out which one is the very good one.
and el maestro Beckman aquí de la isla de Maui, Hawái, nos está dando la información y nos mostraba con la última ola de León Vicuña cuál es la importancia de tener un conocimiento local porque las condiciones de 5 pies a 8 pies son muy diferentes en el Gringo. El tubo tiende a cerrarse más, tiende a ponerse más apretado y es por eso que es importante tener un conocimiento previo de lo que es el line-up aquí de las pesadas izquierdas del Gringo. We are with 40 minutes remaining. León Vicuña is on first place with a combination of 7.75. We have the Brazilian young of 14 years old from Saquarema with 4.90. And Alonso Correa needs a 291 to go on the second place. The same, the French needs a 331 to be on second place. Travis.
Well, you can see a little paddle battle going on right here between white and yellow. See, this is why priority is a very good thing sometimes because it gives us the opportunity to really surf instead of battle with each other. I mean, battling is a part of surfing, but at the same time, when you're watching waves go by that are perfect waves, but because they're battling each other, it's kind of a disappointment for the people watching the contest online and in the water. But it is pumping right now. There are sets coming through. There's birds flying around. This place is very different.
Y cuando ya el maestro Beckman nos estaba contando aquí que es muy importante la situación de prioridades, por eso, porque él decía que el combatir, el pelear por ola es muy importante, pero también así en la competencia es importante tener espacio y poder tener buenas presentaciones. Ídolo.
You gotta love this place. Local fun.
Yeah, it's Arica and El Gringo is pumping with conditions improving. Tomorrow, judges were trying to see if they're going to change
The young boy, Joao on a sick one. Coming.
Unbelievable with 14 years old. The kid from Saquarema, local of La Barriña, is giving all his talent here at the waves of El Gringo.
That kid's charging, man. If that kid's 14, that's impressive, bro. The kid's got some skills.
To let you know, Travis, he's champion of all the categories that he's been stepping. The young Joao from Saquarema is one of the new projects and new generations of Brazil.
Do you know who he's being coached by?
He's been coached with one of the guys that serve better El Gringo, one of the guys that is been stamping his name as one of the biggest charger, Mr. Marcos Monteiro from Brazil. You know Marcos Monteiro, no?
I don't know him personally, but I know the name and I've seen him. I've seen some photos of that guy. He charges, so I was about to say, if anything, Joao's in a very good position with him.
Yes, Marcos Monteiro is one of the guys that no needs presentation in these kinds of condition. It is a guy that is very familiar with Arica. He is a the ambassador of Brazil in Arica. And we miss you, Marquitos. Here is your boy giving the best. He is on second position and he needs a 376 to be on the first place. Travis, you were having a really bad look on your hit. You were not finding the waves. There's something that you would like to say about what's going on this morning and what's the situation here at El Gringo?
Yeah, it's definitely a big change. You know, there's a lot of water moving today. I rode a 510 quad, kind of like Kelly's Deep 6 model that he did. I had a Dean Randazzo from Jersey kind of whip me up one real quick. He just started shaping boards a few years ago and they're coming out pretty dreamy, so kind of stoked on that. But rode a small board, you know, mainly because once you're in the barrel, you really need to maneuver a lot. You don't really want to be still. So the small board really helps you move, and I made a good choice riding that board, but it definitely, you know, there's a lot of water moving, so you need to be able to have good paddling ability, and you got to have good stamina.
Yesterday, which kind of board you were surfing, Travis?
Yesterday I rode the same board in my free surfing, but it was definitely a little bit smaller and a little more clean because the wind stayed off for a while. And but I rode the board today. It felt really good in the barrel. I just unfortunately was unable to come out of the two waves I really wanted to come out of. I saw the opening, and as I was coming out, I either got thrown off my board and the other one just hit me right on the head, and I went straight to the bottom on the reef.
Well, Travis, it was a big pleasure to have you here this morning. And, well, I'm very sure that we're going to see you on the next events and next years, because you are someone that you've been giving a really put the Hawaiian name on top of the barrel skis at El Gringo with incredible performance. Mr. Travis Beckman here is this morning. And Travis, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my man. I'll talk to you soon, Yo-Yo. Have a good day.
Ya, gracias, Travis. Uno de los grandes aquí, performance en la ola del Gringo, Travis Beckman de la isla de Maui, muchachos. Se está despidiendo ya del evento del Maui and Sons Pro 2015. Y si ustedes quieren ganarse unos increíbles lentes esta mañana aquí, pueden enviarnos sus fotos en el Instagram Maui QS 2015. Es ahí donde tenemos una competencia que nos envíe sus mejores fotos. Se podría llevar este premio. And with Steve Jackson, here I am again. And this is the yellow jersey Paul Cesar Distinguí that he couldn't find the way out of the barrel. And everybody at home, very soon is coming Merelo, el chileno. Todos atentos en Chile, atención a la gente de Pichilemu, que ya se viene el Merelo aquí a darlo todo en los tubos del Gringo. Condiciones muy favorables a él, que tiene un muy buen control y drive de lo que son estas condiciones, Steve Jackson.
Steve Jackson back in the booth with just under 9 minutes remaining, and a quick rundown of what we've got out in the water right now. Leon Landea leading the way with a 5.75, looking to replace a 2.0 as his backup score. But again, right now, he's got enough on the board to lead the way. Currently in second, João Chianca from Brazil. And in third spot, Alonso Correa chasing a 4.30. And in fourth, Paul Cesar, the Frenchman, looking for a 4.70, and look at this, Yo-Yo. More waves rolling through here at El Gringo.
Y acá tenemos acción, él es el peruano Alonso Correa, que no consigue encontrar todavía una ola de calidad para así sumar un high score y llevarse el paso al siguiente round. Muchachos, estamos ya con 8 minutos y les comentaba ya que está João Chianca, el brasileño, también así el León Vicuña, que no necesita presentación ante todos ustedes, uno de los grandes exponentes del sur chileno. Y estoy con Steve Jackson, ya faltando 8 minutos, Steve.
Yes, 8 minutes remaining, and again, it's Landea and Chianca, the 14-year-old. Those two guys leading the way. Paul Cesar, Alonso Correa trying to play catch up. And just taking a quick look ahead, coming up in the first heat of round 4, we're going to see Joao Chianca's brother, Lucas Chianca, going up against Christian Morello, Nicholas Guajardo, and Luan Wood. So again, they are on deck. We'll see them hitting the water in just a little bit.
Ya, y me informan ya que en el siguiente hit se viene Lucas Chianga, el gran chumbiño. Cuando tenemos Ola, el espeto rojo, tenemos Alonso Correa de Punta Hermosa y tenemos Seth entrando, tenemos ahí remada de negro. Él es León Vicuña, el chileno, muchachos, el chico de Cachagua, hijo de una de las grandes leyendas del sur chileno, el gran Calá Vicuña. Acá lo tenemos a León, cuando ya les comentaba que teníamos a Lucas Chianca, también Cristian Merelo, a Nicolás Vargas y a Luan Wood en el siguiente round.
So a quick wave exchange out in the water between Alonso Correa and Leon Landea. Unfortunately, those guys didn't quite get the waves they were looking for. They make their way back out to the lineup. Again, Landea leading the way, Correa on the other end trying to chase down a 4.30. That last wave will not do the trick.
Ya, muchachos, estamos con 6 minutos y 20 segundos. We are with 6 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. And Alonso Correa last wave 160 is not going to be enough to go on the second. He needs a 430 at the same. Paul Cesar Distinguin needs a 4.10 to go on second place.
So again, with 6 minutes remaining, Leon Landea leading the way. Joao Chianca currently in second spot, looking to advance out as well. On the other side of things, Paul Cesar currently sitting third, looking at a 4.10 he needs to track down. And Alonso Correa trying to hunt a 4.30. 5:40 left on the clock. And here we have a look at the 14-year-old Chianca and digging his rail, taking a little bit of a facial on that one.
Ese era Joao Chianca, uno de los grandes exponentes de la nueva generación brasileña, ya campeón en todas las categorías del circuito carioca. Y me comentaban que Joao Chianca ya con 13 años tuvo una increíble performance en Hawái en la conocida ola de Jaws. Una de las cosas que me contaba el maestro Marcos Montero es que Joao Chianca desde pequeñito se arrancaba a correr olas grandes. En su primera temporada en Hawái me comentaba el maestro Montero que uno de los días, una mañana, Joao desapareció, no lo encontraban en ningún lado y lo fueron a encontrar en la ola de Waimea sin permiso de su padre. Así que este es el carácter de uno de los chicos que está robando la escena aquí en el gringo, muchachos.
4:40 remaining. And we were touching on round 4 coming up on deck with Lucas Chianca, Christian Morello, and Nicholas Guajardo and Luan Wood in Heat 1. Just looking a little further ahead right now. Following them in Heat 2, we will see Andy Crier from France, Sebastian Correa from Peru, Kevin Sullivan from Hawaii, and Manuel Selman from Chile. So they're all on deck.
Y ya tenemos en el siguiente round, tenemos al Cristian Merelo, Lucas Chianca, Nicolás Vargas y Luan Wood.
That's wrong. All right, so I have been corrected. Our listing for Nicholas Guajardo, it's actually Nicholas Vargas. So we'll get that corrected. I apologize for passing on the wrong information. So again, coming up on deck, we're going to see Lucas Chianca, Christian Morello, Nicholas Vargas, and Luan Wood.
Y es así, muchachos, ya estamos ya con 3 minutos y 40 en la regresiva. En cualquier instante la situación puede cambiar porque estamos con olas de 8 pies aquí en la rompiente del gringo y con un León Vicuña que está pasando al siguiente round. También tenemos una de las revelaciones del campeonato, al joven Joao Chianca de nada menos que 14 años en segundo lugar, al francés Paul Distinguin que necesita un 4.10 para pasar a segundo y Alonso Correa, el peruano, necesita un 4.30 para seguir en competencia.
So there you have it. The rundown in Spanish will give you a quick update in English. 3 minutes on the clock. Paul Cesar still sitting in third, trying to suss out a 4.10. Alonso Correa on the hunt for a 4.30. on his own end. Both of those guys trying to chase down the 14-year-old Brazilian, João Chianca. And leading the way still, Leon and Landea. So time counting down. These guys need to get down to business if they're going to have a chance to change the situation out in the water. And here we have rider in white, João Chianco.
Y ya pueden ver ahí al pequeñito Chianca, muchachos de 14 años, porque yo les voy a contar algo que es impresionante ver a semejante criatura chiquitita encarar estos mares. Es un verdadero espectáculo el joven de Brasil que está dando aquí en el gringo con 14 años, una de las olas más peligrosas del Tour Mundial. Cuando tenemos ahí al muchacho Correa de Punta Hermosa que está necesitando un 4:30 para seguir su sueño aquí en este campeonato mundial del gringo.
We have less than 2 minutes remaining in the heat, and situation remains the same. Leon Landea holding on to the top spot. João Chianca trying to maintain second position. Paul Cesar trying to chase down a 4.10. Alonso Correa needs a 4.30. 140 remaining in the heat.
Ya estamos ya con 1 minuto y 30 acá en el hit, con León Vicuña en primer lugar, y los chilenos ya están pasando en este evento a la siguiente fase. Ya tenemos en el siguiente round al Nicolás Vargas, también hacia Cristian Merelo, dos de los chicos de Pichile. Cuando tenemos ahí a Peto Negro, él es León Vicuña, porque es el chileno que tiene uno de los mejores performances en esta ola, con un primer corte y un increíble primer tubo. León Vicuña. Estamos ya con el drop de Peto Amarillo, el Paul César Distingá, el francés, con una segunda maniobra. Está necesitando un 4:10 Paul César Distingá, que está en cuarto lugar.
50 seconds left on the clock, and a slight situation change out in the water. Correa moves up into third, now needing a 3.66. Paul Cesar on that last wave, still chasing a 4.10. Unfortunately, that snowball came out of the barrel and just hit him from behind, plowed through him like a dump truck, and that did not help his cause any. 30 seconds remaining. Cesar still chasing a 4.10. Correa looking for a 3.66. And there it is, a final horn has sounded as Correa, making one last-ditch effort, pulls into the barrel.
Ya, muchachos,
not able to find the exit.
Y estábamos ya con el final de este hit, con León Vicuña ya pasando al siguiente round. También el brasileño João Chianca, una de las revelaciones del evento. Y ahí, gente, todo el mundo atento lá, que o João ya pasó en segundo lugar, esa batería ahí, y está posicionando en el cuarto round de esa Maui Sons Pro 2015. Ya estamos ya, en cualquier instante nos van a dar el on para el siguiente hit, porque tenemos a Merelo, tenemos a Nicolás Vargas, tenemos a Luan Wood y a Lucas Chianca, el hermano mayor de João, el gran chumbiño, uno de los surfers con mejor presentación en las free surf de aquí de la ola del gringo.
So again, just getting ready to start off round 4 as we've just wrapped up round 3 competition and moving forward.